Jack simply turned his head to look at the painting on the wall, terribly discover his dead uncle had climbed out of his grave. His eyes widened in disbelief. When he looks back again, his uncle had already walked out from the grave. Jack was scared to death because the family cemetery was just behind the house. To inherit the wealth from his uncle, Jack first using cruel words to upset his uncle, then pushing him toward the wide open window. The cold wind blew toward the old man with the window directly facing the family cemetery, and Jack cruelly said, "That's where you belong." The frail old man, unable to breathe in the cold wind, finally died in pain. However, Jack blamed the housekeeper entirely for his uncle's death. Jack immediately asked the lawyer when the inheritance would be distributed. The lawyer, suppressing his fury, said they would have to wait until after the uncle's burial. Upon hearing this, Jack rushed to have someone dig a hole in the backyard to bury his uncle, yet threatening the housekeeper not to tell anyone about the lack of a proper funeral. Looking at his old master's portrait, the housekeeper reluctantly agreed. Jack, feeling guilty, didn't want to see his uncle's paintings and ordered the man to throw them all away. Just then, something in the painting made him freeze. When he looked closer, he discovered a grave had mysteriously appeared in the painting. Thinking his eyes were playing tricks on him, the man didn't care about it. That night, the uncle's body was buried, and Jack began to enjoy his lavish new lifestyle. However, as expected, the unexpected happened. The scene in the painting changed again. An empty coffin appeared in the previously empty grave. Jack panicked and questioned the housekeeper whether someone had tampered with the painting. The housekeeper, however, offered no response. Jack quickly took down the painting and ran to his uncle's grave. After careful comparison, he found that everything in the cemetery exactly matched the painting. Terrified, he rushed back to the mansion, intending to destroy the painting. Watching the painting burn to ashes, Jack finally felt relieved. He thought he could now live out his days in peace, but the next day, the painting reappeared on the wall. Nonetheless, his uncle's coffin had been opened. Seeing this, Jack immediately fell into despair. He quickly found the housekeeper and asked if he had noticed any changes in the painting, but the man insisted nothing had changed. Confused, Jack checked again and found the painting had indeed returned to normal. The grave and coffin had completely vanished. Jack couldn't believe what he was seeing. He clearly remembered burning the painting to ashes. Why had the painting reappeared on the wall? The housekeeper suggested he was just tired and hallucinating. Jack instantly lost his temper, knocking over the tea the housekeeper had brought. Facing this situation, the butler decided not to stay in the mansion any longer and resolved to leave immediately. Jack, however, believed his uncle was behind everything. Angrily, he smashed a glass at his uncle's portrait. However, shortly after falling asleep, a noise suddenly came from downstairs. Thinking the housekeeper had returned to the mansion, Jack fearfully went downstairs to check, only to discover that his uncle from the painting had actually walked out of the cemetery. Jack was instantly scared to death, and this was only the beginning. This movie is called Night Gallery.